Hi, this is Jason Fielder with the Daily Forex Report for November 4th. It's election day and the markets are moving. I don't know if y'all have noticed that or not, but much larger ranges than is what's typical. Looking at the US-Japanese yen pair, I'm expecting this market to move between 101.29 and on the lower side 97.44. Now look for some resistance to come into this market around 150 and some support around 98.50. This pair pretty much is, it did close up for today. It's pretty much moving sideways. It broke into our range that we talked about yesterday, but of course pulled back pretty hard prior to the close from that. So don't know if we will get a close above that level or not. Definitely keep an eye on it though. The EURUSD pair, this particular pair surged up over 300 pip range today. Looking for this pair to move between 133.50 on the high side, on the low side 124.07. Now I am looking for some resistance around 130.50 and some support come in around 129.32. Real quick though, something that I'm looking at, I know most of y'all have heard me talk about the overextended days. Well, today for the Euro-USD pair, as you can see, we have a blue dot, which means that we have an overextended day, and basically we're looking to buy at the open and for it to retrace up to this high. The odds are really high that we will get that move, and it has surged higher. It is pulling back. If you're not in this trade already, what you can do is wait for it to pull back, and if it moves lower than this session's close, than the open, basically wait for it to pull back and then bounce through. If you get a bounce that takes you through that point, again, you can go ahead and buy and go long, looking for it to retrace. There's a couple ways you can do this. You can take the range from the close to the high and go ahead and use that as your stop loss and use that for your take profit. That's a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. The other option that you can do is go ahead and buy at the open and use a 100 pip stop loss. Go ahead and exit. This is one way you can do it. Buy 3 at the open. At this point, exit halfway one of the lots. Then when you fully retrace, exit the second one, and then you only have one left, and go ahead and let that one ride. Use a 100 pip stop loss for that particular trade. When it breaks, hits the halfway mark, go ahead and bring your stop loss to break even. Then when it hits the final or the second target, a full basic retracement from the close to the high, go ahead and bring your stop loss to the halfway mark to lock in profit, and then let that third lot just run. It's a little more complicated than just using a 1-to-1 ratio, risk to reward ratio, but it can, if the market continues higher and you're not stopped out, can really produce some good profits there. Now, this market, not sure, it's pretty much just moving sideways. It did surge higher today, but overall, I think it's moving sideways due to the election. Looking at the pound US dollar pair, this pair moved higher today. I am expecting it to move between 162.08 on the high side, on the low side 154.45. Now, I am expecting this market to hit some resistance around 161.00 and find some support around 155.50. It's not wanting to work. There we go. Let's take a look at the US Swiss. This particular pair surged higher and did on Monday. If you notice, we had an overextended bar, and it did indeed meet that during that session, but then pulled back during this session. I believe this pair's pretty much moving sideways within a wide range. The bias, though, is to the upside still, but we'll just have to wait and see what the market's going to do overall. I do believe it's going to go up, but this particular pair seems to have a pattern of moving higher, pulling back, moving higher and pulling back. I know they all do that, but this one does it to a much larger degree than, say, the pound would. The pound, of course, trends a lot smoother. I am expecting this pair to move between 118.85 and on the high side, on the low side 114.96. Do look for some resistance to come into this market around 11700, and on the lower side find some support around 11550. Now, looking at the news announcements for tomorrow, actually real quick, let's take a look at the pound yen pair that we were looking for on the weekly time frame. The pair has pulled back a little bit higher so far this week. We'll have to just wait and see. Most likely we will not get a break of this low, as we had talked about earlier in the week. But as I said yesterday, if we get another inside bar, that could be a really good sign, double inside bar, that we're going to get a breakout soon. I would venture to say if we close up for this week and we do have an inside bar, I would look to go long this pair as the carry pairs start to kick back in. Basically, people start moving their money back into the carry trade, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, switching over to the news, the Eurozone has their retail sales for September being released. The consensus is that it's going to move from 0.3% to negative 0.3% for September. And year to date, they're estimating it has dropped from negative 1.8% down to negative 2.25%, which is a rather large drop in retail sales, showing that the Eurozone economy is slowing. Now, the New Zealand dollar has their unemployment rate for the third quarter being released. It's estimated that the unemployment rate has increased from 3.9% to 4.3%, which there again is not good for the New Zealand dollar. The Bank of Japan has their monetary policy meeting minutes being released for October, and that's going to be released at 6:50 p.m. The New Zealand announcement's being released at 4:45 p.m., and the Eurozone retail sales will be released at 5 a.m. Well, that about does it for today. Until tomorrow, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.